Welcome back to the Laws That Matter, everyone. I'm Carissa Kranz. Thank you for joining us for another exciting week here. We have some great conversations and food for thought. So without further ado, I want to bring everyone up on screen all at once. We have some unreal conversations that are going to happen today with Jenny Goldfarb from Unreal Deli. We have the Faithful Vegan. We have Gigi, my true self. And we have myself, a vegan from birth. And let's not forget, we also have our co-host here. This is Pumpkin. And Pumpkin is really a vegan dog. She's been a vegan dog for a month since I've gotten her. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm so delighted to have you here. Our other guest that we have today is Jenny Goldfarb from Unreal Deli. You've been on Shark Tank. Let me remove these banners so we can see you better here. Sorry, give me 1 second. I want everyone to see you talk. So Jenny, let's see. There we go. Okay, here. Now we can all talk. So Jenny, Unreal Deli, been on Shark Tank. You make meat out of plant-based protein for people who are used to eating meat and are probably afraid to give it up. So tell us about yourself and how can you help them with their 4-day challenge, help people get over their fear of giving up meat?
For sure. So everything you ladies, Cersei, Gigi, have spoken about totally resonated. In fact, just this past week, I know Carissa and I both share a Jewish lineage. There was a fast day in the Jewish holiday that I participated in on Thursday of this past week, which is actually a dry fast, no food or water. And apparently it takes like 4 days of wet fasting to equal one dry fast day. But and for those of us who are in the know with veganism, with this whole compassion movement of not eating animals, caring about one another, it's more than just, a separate little Jewish holiday, but it actually has very big global implications. So your words really rang true to me. And I started, we were sort of starting to speak before in the green room back there about how I came to this in the first place because I also got involved in some spirituality and realized some of the interconnectedness of the world. And when I started seeing videos of what was happening to our animal friends, I just said, this is so unacceptable, so heartbreaking, but also completely unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And when I gave the news to my husband, he wasn't thrilled, but he said, make it taste delicious and I'll try and get on board with you. So I started a vegan food blog for a while. And it was for that endeavor. It was for that endeavor that I cooked up my first vegan corned beef, which I thought in earnest I was just going to share on my website, on the food blog. And then folks started saying to me that this is the most delicious, even meat item that they'd ever had. Many folks who were not vegan, not vegetarian, nothing, said to me, this is exceptionally delicious. And so I sought out to try and create a business of it and got myself on Shark Tank and all this. Yeah.
So what was it like being on Shark Tank?
It was for sure the most exhilarating experience of my life. It wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was going to be. I came very prepared with all of my numbers and answers, and I had some good one-liners, and I knew I was coming with like the entire animal kingdom and a lot of beautiful people like yourselves, like kind of on my back there. So I felt like I was coming with like the right motivation, the right, love in me and wanting to do good with this business, in this world. So, when you have the right, consciousness, energy, and you want to like bring the right things, like even the biggest doors can like fly open for you.
Yeah. I was really touched when I heard Genesis Butler speak, when she got her Marvel Superhero Award. And she said that she was actually a shy person, but that she gets it together for the animals because she feels like as much as hard as it is for her to speak and to want to talk to the masses, that she puts that aside and she says, as scared as I am to get on this stage and speak, just imagine how scared those animals are before the water. And I'm going to do this for them. I'm here for them. And I think that, when we go into sometimes we get our conscious, we get in our own way, we're in our own head. And even when we are trying to do good and our heart's in the right place, we still get in our own head. And when we put that aside and we realize, I'm here for the right reasons. My business is here for the right reasons. Everything I'm doing is because I want to do good. And when we just put that aside and say, I'm doing this for the planet. I'm doing this for the animals. I'm doing this for a higher collective consciousness. There's just no way to fail, even on Shark Tank.
I feel
right?
that. Thank you. I totally agree with that. Yeah. And coming from that, just knowing that, the animals and like the scaredness, that's actually the thing that like kills me the most. I feel like I'm willing to watch like any undercover investigation video. It's like a little bit of a dark part of my personality maybe, but I feel like if it's recorded once, it's happening millions of times. But the ones that like get me the most are where like the piglets are shivering in the, more than even the actually getting like really hurt. So being in touch with that kind of fear and wanting to make good by them really does give wings to fly. And just, I feel like it's almost like a pass to like bringing on the goodness in this world.
And tell us about when we were backstage in the green room before we started your show that our other guests here were inspired by, that I've never seen, probably embarrassingly enough, but I'm not a cook. I am so not a cook. I'm a vegan for life, but I would probably do real well in all of your kitchens, just eating. I'll be a taste tester.
So that answers exactly why I stopped this vegan food blog that I'd created, countyourcolors.com, if for the cooks out there, because I said people don't want to go to the grocery store and head into aisles they don't know about and spend 12 minutes reading this, that label. Just give them the food, make it easy for them. So
and get it certified vegan so they know it's easy for them.
Exactly.
Be veg.
Exactly. Get it certified vegan so there's no confusion. So when I first became vegan, I realized, there were a lot of lousy meals. And then ultimately the food got a little better and a little better. And then sometimes there were like extraordinarily delicious meals that came out of my kitchen. And with those, I said to my husband, like, I really want to share with like everyday moms and busy people just how doable and delicious this can be, how this does not have to be such an elusive thing, because so many Americans know how to like take a piece of chicken, put it in the oven and take it out 30 minutes later. This is like the extent of our, culinary background for most Americans, which is why we see the obesity and all the madness and COVID and all of this. But for those of us who've learned how to cook from the produce and grains aisle, it's like, of course you can. There are 18,000 edible plants, fruits, seeds, nuts, vegetables. And so I wanted to show how doable it could be. And for this endeavor, I started coming up with a new recipe each week. And then I made this corned beef and I served it at a Hanukkah party. And friends, especially like some hater vegan friends who thought I was taking my family on a crazy hippie crusade, said, "This is so good. I wouldn't have known it wasn't real meat. Make a business out of this." And I was introduced to some lovely folks who were on your show last week, Rabbit Hole Foods, and they let me rent out their little kitchen. That was like my first commercial kitchen. And I started sharing it with the Jewish delis of Los Angeles, who said, "We need something like this. Our current Reuben sandwich is all vegetables." And so that turned into Whole Foods. We got the attention of Quiznos and Shark Tank. And anyway.
Are you in Quiznos now?
We're in 16 Denver Quiznos locations. It did so well in Quiznos that in Denver that there was going to be this big North American launch on like April 15th. We were supposed to deliver 27,000 pounds, and everyone knows what was going on in March of this past year. So that's been halted a bit because of COVID, but it's been performing well, and there's just a lot of excitement around.
So, you're from Florida. I'm from Florida. Where can you get this in Florida? Have you entered or penetrated this market yet in any way that's major?
Yeah. We're in
like probably Whole Foods. I'm sure you're in Whole Foods here, right?
We're just launching our first retail packs in September, which should hopefully bring us into Publix and Whole Foods there. We're in the Whole Foods that are here in the Los Angeles area, also Arizona and Southern Nevada as like a grab and go sandwich. But for the retail packages, that's coming very imminently next month. But in South Florida, we're in Vegan Fine Foods, which is in Fort Lauderdale. And we're just now on the menu at Ben's Kosher Deli in West Boca Raton.
How fun.
Yeah.
We certified vegan at B-Veg Della Rosa Real Foods, which is the kosher grocery store that's based in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh,
maybe they should carry it. I should connect you guys. You can have a kosher... Yeah, can carry in their grocery store. And along those lines, Jenny, I want to ask you, I went to a Jewish veg Passover in New York with Victoria Moran. Yes. And running along the lines of bringing faith to veganism and not you're doing that by having your Mrs. Goldfarb's Unreal Deli. You're bringing Jewish food to faith. Have you done anything with the Jewish veg organizations, or are you doing anything to try
I spoke this past year at the Shemayim Va'aretz conference, and that was really a wonderful experience. There's one thing that rings a bell, which is, in Judaism, there are all these different blessings on foods, because, it's a wonderful thing to like take a moment and to acknowledge that like this doesn't come from Ralph's or Publix or Whole Foods. It came from the source above, and to like have acknowledgement for half a second before you indulge. But what's interesting is that all of the foods that are vegan foods have their own blessing, and all of the foods that are like milk, meat, eggs, fish, they're under this separate umbrella called she'akol, which means like everything else. Like, you don't make, like, you would think, oh, you have this life of this cow, you're going to make a special blessing on this. No. It's like all the stuff we're not totally supposed to be eating. So I think Judaism gets that. And also with the kosher laws, there's a separation of milk and meat, because it's understood that these are two very toxic things and they shouldn't be eaten together. At least let them be segregated. So a little point there.
I like how you said kosher law too, because, I'm a lawyer here, and I think that our laws are these intended version of these higher laws, our man-made laws. And it is so important that we understand that our interpretation of these laws are sometimes flawed here on this planet, because they're interpreted by us. But there are these religious laws, there are these biblical laws, there are these kosher laws, and our food is very integrated and culturally and religiously into all of our decisions. So I think that today, even though I didn't plan strategically to put you all together, I think it's a brilliant pod here of us, because you're talking about bringing food and faith to church-based advocacy. And Jenny, what you're doing with Unreal Deli is you're taking Jewish food and bringing it to Jewish faith. I mean, I was, born and raised vegan, and I was always the one at Passover dinner with the Seder plate with the lamb shank and the egg and all these things I couldn't eat, didn't even want to look at. And I think that there is an entire cultural overhaul to be had here with religion. And it's not a sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice to flavor. It's not a sacrifice to spirituality. If anything, when you try it, I think people will realize, wow, now I was missing out. Those vegans weren't missing out. I was missing out. So how do people find your good food if it's not in stores? They have to go online. They have to go to your website, or I know you're being carried also at GFTO now, right?
Yeah, we're at GFTO. Soon I think we'll be at veganessentials.com. Right now, today, you can get it at unrealdeli.com. In fact, we're going to be doing a sale today on our 5-pound box, which is normally $99. It's going to be $15 off if you type in 15 thanks at checkout as of like 15 minutes from now. 15 thanks, that's going to be our code. But if you check us out on social, we'll be posting that shortly. Just a little summer sale. And we're also at all Mendocino Farms locations. It's an incredible sandwich they make. And on August 19th, we're going to be at all Veggie Grill locations. And we're at a number of individual delis throughout the United States as well. At unrealdeli.com, you can check out our list of retailers and see how you can get yourself the most delicious deli sandwich on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you guys should make it part of the Daniel's challenge. For those that are afraid to give up meat, they could try this real meat-looking sandwich. Does it taste? I've never eaten meat. Does it really?
Yes, definitely.
It does? It tastes like meat?
We fool a lot of people into thinking it's real meat. Yeah. If you held it like completely side by side, you may notice the difference in the sense that there isn't like fat veins and indications that you're dealing with like real animal flesh, which I think is a plus. But you may know the difference. But if you took a bite of a full-on sandwich, you would say this is damn delicious and may not know the difference.
Yeah. Do you guys agree with that?
I don't know that we've had it.
Yeah, I've been following Jen for a while, so yeah.
I think I think a lot of people have, I think a lot of people have tried your sandwich, Jenny. I don't know if you realize you're like a little celebrity. I remember when you came out on the news, and my dad read you in some Israeli newspaper.
Yeah.
He lives in Miami, and he forwarded it to me, and he's like, Oh, look at her. She's a nice Jewish girl, vegan like you. And yeah, and then then there you are on Shark Tank, and then the overlap with Jane and Rosanna from Rabbit Hole, and so yeah, I'm excited of where you're headed, and everyone who's got these vegan businesses are gonna. I think we're living in times where veganism is going to take off, and it's unlimited potential. So
it's already happening.
Super exciting time. Yeah. So do you just have this this one corned beef product, or are there other products that you want to talk about or bring up, or that are going to be
That's a good question. So on the website, we have both a regular, like a crumble of the corned beef, which is great for like a corned beef hash, and we have a taco meat, which is obviously great for any like Mexican type of application. But we're very imminently launching Unreal Roasted Turkey, and
that'll be exciting for Thanksgivings.
Totally, we're gonna have
another American holiday here,
right? And so it is far and away the most delicious, indistinguishable, and clean label of any plant-based turkey on the market. So we're very excited about that launch. I'm going to my production facility today to see how it's coming along, but we've locked it in R&D, and we will be releasing it to the masses in around 5 or 6 weeks.
That is so exciting. So it'll be here in time for Thanksgiving.
Totally in time for Thanksgiving, yeah.
I think this is a fabulous segment that came together today, because all three of you really have a common thread between farm to faith and faith-based advocacy through food.
Yeah.
And how that affects us spiritually, emotionally, physically, environmentally. And we are running out of time, so I want to give you a second for final thoughts. Jenny, I know you have a hard out, so I'll let you go first. I'm going to put you up here. And your food, yes, here I want everyone to see your delicious corned beef, Unreal corned beef, where they can get it. This is what it looks like. It's certified vegan by BVeg, the only accredited vegan trademark in the world under ISO 17065, which is super important. For those that don't know, veganism is not defined legally in any one jurisdiction. So to have a standard out there that's accredited and internationally recognized means that the industry is starting to take vegan claims seriously the way they would take kosher claims seriously, or organic claims, or gluten-free claims. Now manufacturers and facilities have to look at veganism and the chance for cross-contamination and the ingredients and the suppliers and the spec sheets with the same degree of seriousness as they do for other certification programs and food safety programs. So that's important. And congratulations for getting your certifications. We're so happy to have you, especially because you're such a delicious brand. And for me as a Jew, I mean, I'm excited to have this, your brand in our network. So any final thoughts? Everyone can get you online. What is it that you'd like to share to the world and on Jane Unchained?
Carissa, I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to be here today and to be able to work with you with BVeg. We also have gotten kosher certification, and we can definitely attest that it's equally rigorous and important to be able to make these claims, to make it clear to people that, you're kind of covering all these bases. I'm so happy for what you're putting into the world. Thank you. It's such a really important element. I wrote on my Facebook there, triple threat, gorgeous, vegan, and an attorney. So I'm just very happy to have you.
Well, you're a triple threat too. Gorgeous, entrepreneur, on Shark Tank, and have a delicious product that's going to probably be worth. Let me know when the IPO is, because I'd like to get in. No, I mean, seriously, like these kinds of products is what the world needs to know and be exposed to, way beyond the vegan platform, way beyond Jane Unchained, way beyond our vegan audience here. This is what everyone needs to try.
Yeah, so we need to make it that like it's healthy and that people don't even know the difference when they eat it, and just that there are just no sacrifices to going this way. So thank you for helping lead this mission.
Yeah, and let's follow up. I'm going to try to get you into the store in Fort Lauderdale that carries kosher. Yeah, great. We'll get you in there.
Thank you so much. It's nice to meet you too, Cersei and Gigi.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jenny. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon.
Thank you. Okay. or what Gwenna Hunter is doing by starting Vegans for Black Lives Matter and a whole movement with that, or